Anamaya, we have a very fun matchup today in Oh No, My Queen, Eric Rosen against Queen of Indian Chess, Tanya Sachdev.
I can sometimes, Robert, I have this strength that I can see the future. It doesn't work in my own game, sadly, but you know, when commentating, things happen much easier.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the thing about commentating is it's okay to be wrong, and then you can just say all sorts of different things, and some of them will land.
2 pawns, obviously, like in rook games, should be enough, but ooh, there goes one. Oh no,
Oh my goodness. We're going to have to bring that game up with an instant replay because your reaction was spot on. That was just a terrible blunder. And it was induced by time trouble. But look at this moment here. It was on the verge of being a draw, and then she took with the wrong rook.
That's so unfortunate. She was showing such great resistance in this game, and she was heading to a draw after that capture if she would have captured with the right rook.
Yeah, because this would be a 3-on-2, same side of the board. That is a theoretical draw, not a difficult one. And instead she takes with this rook, I guess not realizing that rooks connect through the enemy rook, and that leaves Eric a rook ahead and a point ahead in this competition. So, a big miss there by Tanya.
But seems like Tanya is able to defend this, and what is happening? Rook F3?
Oh, it blundered a piece! Oh no, his bishop! And Tanya grabs it, and she should be able to win this game. E7, bishop A4. And Eric does not resign. So he is known for coming up with stalemates when they don't seem possible. But I don't see it happening in this game. And Tanya fought hard.
That was an incredible game by both players. It was so unclear from the start. Who is attacking? Who is doing better?
Now B4 has even more force with B2 hanging at the end.
Right, and b4 is really a move you should be worried about here with the white pieces. Obviously now bishop f3, it's pretty much forcing the trade. So I'm expecting bishop takes f3, and then perhaps b4 would be really worrying here for white. He's not in a rush, and I think the more time goes down of the match clock, the more he'll be happy as well about this.
Whoa, and apparently... Oh my gosh!
Wait a second!
Oh, okay. I was trying to figure out like why the eval bar swung so much before that. So I'm going to pull up that game real quick. That was just a sad end to that game, and what a defense she was showing. But
d5.
C6.
Oh, she lost the pawn on d5, which was a very important pawn for her.
No, now it's completely lost. I mean, white has 2 extra pawns, could be 3 after c6, and it turned in a hurry. Bam. Just like very clear pressure in the center. Black is -4.5 is extreme for a position that's even material, but it's not going to be even material for much longer. If you play e5, the knight comes to g4. I mean, look at this. All of white's pieces are retreating or stuck, and
almost not just yet, because after f5 you can simply go to e5 with the king.
Right, the king gets to run. Don't go to e4 now. There's bishop c2. So now check, king d3. Bring the other rook in. The king's going on a walk, but it doesn't look like it's a walk in the park.
She's going for the repetition.
You got to play for a win. You're down by 5 points.
Oh, she really needed that point. She had a great position, but she was not so sure about her chances there, which is really unfortunate because she had a great chance over there. Oh, queen c4, and Eric is putting more pressure on this pawn, but it's very well defended by the knight, so there's not much to be worried about just yet. But with this,
rook takes d4.
I spoke too soon.
Rook
there
takes
is
d4.
this queen on a7, putting right towards the king.
Oh my gosh, and even in those positions, like she had to play king h1, just get the king off the diagonal. Rook takes d4, winning on the spot. Eric finds it, and the problem is there's nowhere for this queen to hide. Like after knight takes, rook takes, no matter where this rook moves from d4, it's going to be check to this king on g1, and the queen would have to be able to hide somewhere. There's nowhere to run to.
Oh, hold up a second. It's not that simple.
Yeah, the queen, she went the wrong way.
Oh, she didn't have time for that.
Okay, that's really good because you defend this, and mate is coming.
And yeah, the bishop will come to c5, and there we see the queen and bishop actually working well together. Queen f1 is not looking good.
The b7 pawn, d5 is protected, but even a move like bishop e5 is going to come with some serious threats. Oh gosh.
Oh, bishop b5 on the spot, but what after queen f5, attacking the bishop on f4?
Yeah, just take the rook.
Just take the rook. and you'll be up in exchange. And oh, the bishop is hanging on e7. That is the problem.
Yeah, it's just a free exchange. And Tanya, she has not found her footing on the black side of the London system.
She has been speeding up, which is really nice to see for her, but it's just not there. The positions, they're not in her favor.
Nope. And it is a 6-point lead in Eric's favor right now. Yeah, really good decision. And now she can take, well, rook d3.
Oh, rook e3.
As soon as I say the words good decision, she walks into a piece loss with rook d3 check. And unfortunately for her, it's just really, everything's falling apart.
And there's a lot of things that white can do here. You can consider playing b5, you can consider playing, you can even try to play knight to g5. It might do not that much, but if you consider moves like f5, knight to g5 will definitely be in the air. And there we see queen c5, so if Tanya decides to play f5 now, there's a clear threat of bishop d5.
Yikes. Yeah, that would just lose the queen on the spot, but I like what you're pointing out, the knight g5, even without winning the queen, would force the queen off the diagonal, and that would cause black some problems with his king on g8. So
yeah, it's just a really rough position for Tanya overall.
and bishop e8 went to +7.
It's wild.
Like trying to figure out, then you must be winning a piece somewhere. So you can't play bishop c6, so the knight can take. You can take and play here, but that doesn't look that convincing. Oh my gosh, just simple.
Oh wow, you just get rid of the pawn because how do you defend it?
You can't. After, even if you move your king out the way, your rook is still going to be pinned next. Now rook takes a5, and that's game. Don't pre-move bishop takes e7 though, because if knight takes d5, the knight would then defend that rook over there. Yeah, no, it's big miss. Let's go back there for a second. After bishop g3, bishop takes f7 is check, so you have to react to it. If queen takes f7 or king takes, f takes g3, double attack. One pawn on f5, second pawn on c3, and black would be, at the end of this, at least 2 pawns ahead with a much safer king.
That is crushing, and surprisingly enough, she does not play this. She still has a nice position, but the advantage is less clear to take that pawn off the rook off the board with the pawn. But she goes for queen takes h6 instead.
No, this is just getting out of hand for her. It just feels like every game, no matter the position, no matter the clock situation, Eric, he's a little bit more stable in this match. And what's the material count? White is still up a pawn, technically speaking, but look at the powerful pieces that black has everywhere.
The rook on the second rank, that's exactly what you want, and it's very hard to see where the counterplay is for white. You want to get the repetition going, but with the queen on e5, you're not going anywhere. Now c2 is really difficult here for white.
Yeah, I think white has a few checks, but they're going to run out. Queen g4, there's queen g5, and no more checks for you. You can trade queens despite being a pawn down because it's the quality of the pawns, not the quantity.
Gonna say rook d1, but then you fall into queen g4 idea, so that's probably not the way to go to. But queen h5 looks very neat, threatening checkmate in several ways. 1 second increment in this portion of the match, you still might have some, it might still feel different than actual bullet without increments. So
yeah, it feels different, but it feels worse when you're the side down a piece. So there's the resignation. And all right, we'll see if Tanya can strike back. But Eric gained a whopping 1 rating point for that bullet game victory.
Wow.
Good move by Eric, though.
Rook c7, and where is the tactic? The eval bar is saying that white has a clear advantage. I guess it's the clear advantage because the pawns are dropping on the queen side and the pawns will be able to push forward very soon. But Eric goes for the save queen a3 as he's obviously not in a rush whatsoever.
Nicely done by Eric with a little fork. And there's also rook c8 check and back rank mate. Oh,
the time! Oh, Tanya flagged in a really interesting position still. Anything was possible.
Attacking this pawn on c7. And
ooh, that's a big problem. Bishop takes c7, attacking the queen and the knight at the same time.
And she's thinking about it. You know, she sees it. I wonder if she's worried about some kind of queen sacrifice.
Oh, she doesn't do it.
Still a very good move, though, because if you take this knight, the pawn will take. This h7 pawn will be hanging, c6,
Mm-hmm.
d5. This is still a great position, but she didn't grab a queen.
On the queen side, I was gonna say white has a nice advantage on the king side, but ooh, it's going really fast on the queen side.
And one of the early games of the match looked just like this, where there's a b4 c3 pawn and now an opening of the queen side. This is just going to lead to checkmate very quickly. Take this pawn.
And yeah, rook a3, and Eric is just crushing it on the queen side. And as you mentioned, the pawn chain he's creating, we saw this a couple of times in the match already. We as commentators, we do quite frequently play, so we're not that much out of shape, as we can say, but Tanya is a phenomenal player, but she just doesn't play as much online.
Yeah, she doesn't. And I was following her progress. I've known Tanya for a long time. I've commentated with her a bunch over the years, and we're friends. So I followed her result in Reykjavik. It was very impressive. It was a great showing, and I was happy to see that. And it's unfortunate when people get blown out in a match, but Eric is such a strong player himself that sometimes these things happen. No matter if you're in an IM tournament, if you're at the Super GM level, sometimes things just don't go your way, and one player is performing much better, and it's Eric today. He's great, so not taking anything away from him, but I just want to preempt all what I assume is going to be people calling out one of the players for not being good enough or whatever. Yeah, I'm just going to end that there. Stress mode.
Oh.
Lost the queen on d6.
That's so unfortunate because she had a great pass pawn on a3, and she could actually sacrifice her queen to get the pawn on a3 going.
Wow. Yeah, actually you're just winning straight up because queen d1 is met by rook to b1, and otherwise you're not stopping this queen from appearing on a1. So that was unfortunate for her, but that's been the theme of the day. Time trouble is not her friend. And Eric, well, maybe he's her friend in real life, but he has not been her friend in this match. d3 or knight d3? Knight d3 is just good. Hitting the bit. Oh, queen d3 would have hung the queen.
The rook on h3.
Oh my gosh, I didn't see the queen. The rook was open up, but knight d3 is obviously better. Now it's a free piece. Oh goodness.
And the e3 pawn is held back by the knight on c1.
That was hanging for free in the game. How does Eric do this?
Just a magician.
And just two pass pawns.
Gotta play fast. Yeah, that was already lost position, but that was again such a nice position from Tanya. It's a very long clock as well, so it makes a lot of sense.
Oh
my goodness.
Oh no, my queen. And that is how the match ends. Final score 19.5 for Eric Rosen, 3.5 for Tanya Sachev. And Anamaya, we can't state it any other way. It was all Eric in this match.